Jay Z, Pharrell, Diddy.
Damn, Usher!
He wasn't only groomed by Diddy, he was groomed by L.A. Reid, the rest of them too, man. Because they knew what happened. Then they came out and brought him back, and all of a sudden, he's getting all the great tracks. He's getting all the songs.
Usher recently sparked a major buzz online with shocking statements about Beyoncé, Diddy, and Jay Z. He suggested that Beyoncé could be tied to even darker activities than those Diddy and Jay Z have been accused of. These bold claims came out in several intense interviews and videos where Usher hinted at crimes and hidden deals far beyond what the public might expect.
Diddy's not going to jail. He said,
I can understand why he would say that.
Yeah. Can you break that down a little bit more? Why you think he said that?
Well, considering that the is selling his own evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder. Why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of all the just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people, or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah, like...
Because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like prostitutes, and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
You see movies like Hostel. Do places like that really exist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do the things that go on in places like that exist?
Absolutely.
Shit. It's funny because
there are 3 women I know right now in my life. They've been in my life for 6 years. I've been caring for them for 3 years. I got them off of Epstein Island. I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
Wow.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports, and then they drugged them. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
Wow.
After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos, shoots, as groupies and extras to make sure that they could walk around in society without looking like victims. And then after that, that's when they were shipped off to Epstein Island to be broken in and to be readied for Dubai and Moscow. When they got into the boat and I looked at them, they didn't have to tell me shit. And neither one of them, none of them, they didn't speak for weeks.
And here's a twist. Sources reveal that Usher was involved in the same project, but not as an executive producer at Island Records. It was called Flavor Camp, and it was run by Diddy, also known as the Dobbler.
2 lawsuits that we've been able to see in regards to Diddy, and both of them are pretty similar in the sense that they both allege that Puffy tried to force them to do drugs and that Puffy enjoyed watching them be with other men. What do you think his fascination is with watching the girls that he's with be with other guys?
He ain't watching the females, he watching the guys. I keep telling y'all the nigga been battling with this homosexuality shit way before all this shit came out. Y'all be, you know, you motherfuckers like always saying, and you too, John, Reggie be lying, Reggie making up shit. But if y'all go and listen to my videos before, y'all see I done spoke on all this bullshit before. Been telling y'all, Puffy Combs is a fucking homosexual. Any man sitting paying a motherfucking male to come and watch him have sex with his girl is a weirdo. Now I know y'all be like, well, you don't watch porn? You don't watch porn? No, number one, I don't pay a motherfucking man to come and watch me or let me watch them a man. I mean, a girl. I ain't gonna pay no man to do that. And generally, if I'm watching porn, it's girl on girl. That's just my taste. But yeah, that's crazy. But I've been telling y'all the niggas is gay. He's gay, but when you have to have these females around, you gotta hide that crazy fantasy. I got Gene done told y'all. The nigga going to buy butt plugs. Females that play with dildos and butt plugs and all that, they want their own. They want that shit broken out brand new or new. For you niggas that don't know, you go break out a dildo that you've been having laying around the house or something like that. Bitches be like, nigga, get that shit away from me. You better break it out of some plastic. How I know? I used to date. I don't do that no more. I am a happily married man now. But that's how that shit goes, y'all. That's how that shit goes. Puffy is a weirdo. Been telling y'all he's a weirdo, but now that it's out, everybody else can benefit from the stories. But Gene been telling y'all. It's one thing I give him credit for. He been telling y'all. He ain't been saying no words like I just harshly said it. But dude, man, it's gonna come out. Usher, somebody gonna come out and tell y'all these stories. It's just a matter of time when they gonna come out about this shit. I told y'all about Will and Dwayne. Remember I told y'all about that shit over 6-7 years on Art the Dialogue channel. Y'all go and read those comments. How many of y'all, this nigga just making up shit? What we talking about in 2023? Will and Dwayne. Keisha from Martin's husband and Will Smith. Where y'all get that shit from? I love how everybody been saying, oh, you been telling us. Oh, welcome back to the platform. Hey, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Man, I never heard that. Huh? Motherfucker, I'm the one that told you about Misa and the picture and all of that. Gene ain't tell y'all that. But okay. Okay. But to answer your question, John, sorry I went off track. But he does that because he really faking the funk, don't want to really see that female. It's really the male. That's why he's hiring a male escort. Because when you hire a male escort, what can you do? Pick the type of man that turns you on. Pick the type of female that turns you on. That's why they're doing that. They can go to the club and meet anybody if that's what they want to do. But they want somebody that they can pick, that this gonna come there, take the business. Because if you pick up chicks in the club, then you get in situations like, y'all about to get mad at me, but like Tupac got into, or Mike Tyson got into, where they want you to hug them after you do whatever you do to them. People like that, once you're done, how many times you done had your orgasm, I'll say the word, and then you was like, damn, I just did that with that bitch. What the f***'s wrong with me? How many times you do that? I wish this bitch get up and go now. I'm done. How many times have you been in that situation? But when you hire somebody, they beating you to that thought. I gotta go. Bye. Out of here. So that's where the craziness comes with the hiring people, and mainly because you're picking from a catalog, dog. You're picking from what you want, what turns you on. And that club shit, or a meeting on the street shit, or like Tiger Woods was doing, a meeting. You remember Tiger Woods? Y'all ever notice one thing about Tiger Woods? Everybody that he was accused of, what were they? They were waitresses. Because what he would be in the hotel, and he would meet them, talk to them, give them an extra little tip, and they would come up to the room. That's how they meet. But when you just order something, man, you can do whatever you want, when you want, how long you want, and then they out of your life, generally. And ain't gotta worry about no accusations coming up 20, 25 years later, which is the craziest shit to me. Have a problem with it, y'all. Have a problem with anybody that's claiming to be a victim and hasn't been seeking psychological help. Shit, after a week. I mean, goddamn, how long? Man, it's crazy to me. But yeah. Did I answer your question, John?
Yeah, but in the process, you talked about how you have been talking about the photos and stuff with Misa and Suge and Puffy's son. Tell me about the story where Suge was going to run the ad with holding Diddy's son. And which magazine was that for? Was it going to be Rolling Stone, or was it going to be The Source, or where was it going to be?
Yeah, Rolling Stones wouldn't have did nothing like that. I really believe it was Dave Mays. I really mean it was The Source magazine. And why it got pulled, I don't know. Gene Deal keeps saying he saw it. With the East, what the East won't take care of, the West will.
It turns out Diddy wasn't running this operation alone. He was reportedly working with Jay Z and Beyoncé on the whole thing involving these kids.
Lawsuit, this girl that was 17 at the time, she say that, you know, I guess her and Diddy was having relations and he couldn't get off. So he was complaining to her one time that, you know, he couldn't get off, and for him to get off, she had to pinch his nipples real hard for him to get off. I mean, yeah, man, this lawsuit is wild, man.
She should have had on white polish, fingernail polish. No, man, we shouldn't be laughing about that, man, you know, because she is a victim. You know what I'm saying? She is a victim, man, and if this is her victim story, we got to be more, I think, more compassionate. She was 17 years old at the time. She was fascinated by that whole thing, getting on a G4, G5 jet, you understand? And what was her parents, man? What was her daddy, her mama? They didn't miss their child? She didn't come home that night? I don't know, man. I can't fathom the whole idea, man. But it's crazy.
When you hear about this stuff, right? Like the 17-year-old girl saying that, you know, Diddy, he couldn't get off unless she pinched his nipples real hard. And you got Cassie saying that, you know, he'll make her look up BBCs and he like to masturbate while she get babe by BBC. You not surprised when you hear about this stuff, right?
Bruh, I knew about the butt plug fetishes because I saw that with my own eyes. I knew about him and Kim being swingers with other people, whether it was another male or another woman or a male and a woman together. I saw that with my own eyes. You gotta realize is that after 2005, I didn't see anything that Puff was doing or what he didn't do. Puff had got addicted to opioids. And being addicted to those things bring other drugs on. I seen Puff smoke a cigarette. I never saw him smoking a cigarette. He was on the beach smoking a cigarette on YouTube. Then I seen him, you know, smoking weed and drinking. I was like, that ain't the Puff I know. Drinking like he was and doing all like that. And so that ain't the Puff that I knew. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta realize he had a certain respect around me because I was his OG from the same game. You understand? And he knew I was law enforcement. He knew I didn't play certain things. So he ain't gonna do what he do around other people in front of me because he knew I'm gonna check him on that. But what you trying to do? So to say that what he's being known for with Cassie, I can only equate to some of the things that I seen him and Kim go through. You understand what I'm saying? So people get mad, you know, but it is what it is. I can only equate his actions like that.
Crazy, man. So all this stuff about him having fetishes is true.
Oh, no doubt. Especially if he getting butt plugs in different flavors.
But speaking of butt plugs, right, I remember some years ago, Cameron, he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with Mace.
Yeah.
And he found the dildo in the sink. I think
that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then Mace said that was Puff's. I think he said Mace said that was Puff's, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was all about, man, but that was real weird to me. That was crazy.
Crazy, man. But before we get off of that, right, I remember you told me a while ago that, you know, Mace, he used to live with Diddy, and he know a lot of stuff about Diddy that a lot of people don't know.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
What you mean by Usher?
Oh, Diddy probably dreams about taking out John Deal and Jaguar Wright in his wildest fantasies.
Time with strangers, and they finally feel safe enough to go to sleep, and then they start talking in their sleep, and you hear the shit that they yell.
You know, it's crazy because as you sit here and we talk about hostile and, or, you know.
These 3 girls that I'm telling you about were in videos that are being played online today. And they appeared in those videos after they had already been sodomized, systematically beaten, starved. But they were smiling in those videos, though.
Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, you sit here and, you know, we got your story before where you actually said you seen what a saw does to human flesh, like having a saw. I mean, we got Terrence Gangsta in the building too as well, and he literally said he's seen the same thing, what he's seen a saw, what it does to human flesh. And I'm like, I don't know what it does to a person's mind or psyche when they see that in person.
It changes you.
Like,
it changes you. there is a place inside of me where I have the ability to either see a human body as a human being or just pieces.
Now, Jack, you said Justin Bieber, and I have to ask you because there's a picture circulating online where they show
He's
Justin.
the new Tevin Campbell.
Yeah, they show him crying.
He's the new Tevin Campbell.
You're almost giving him a gateway to speak his truth of what happened.
I wish Tevin Campbell would speak to him or for him. Because the same thing that they did to him, they're doing to Bieber right now. And I have evidence. That poor kid. And all because he got discovered by Usher. And then Usher took him right over there to the diddler. And let the good times roll.
Let the good times roll. So let me ask you this, because you did the domino effect with Rook, and you said something in which you mentioned that you've seen the devil. You've seen him.
Yeah.
From your experiences, have you seen him enact his ways within a human being where you've seen the devil in a person come out?
Absolutely. And I've seen him in real time.
What?
When you're being raped, if you're brave enough to look into your rapist's eyes, I promise you'll see nothing. Nothing. There is no human there. It's almost like they're in a trance. You can talk to rapists and they'll tell you, even in that moment, there is a space where they lost their self. They don't even remember. It's possession of the flesh. To watch a person give up utter control of themselves and allow that energy to come in. I stared at a man raping me, choking me, and I saw nothing. And that's when I knew this isn't a person anymore. Which is why the idea of picking that knife up and slitting his fucking throat didn't bother me at all. That wasn't a person anymore.
Diddy's story is far from over, and his alleged crimes keep piling up. It's said that he's even been linked to publicly taking out his rivals, including Biggie and Tupac, and there was even an attempt on others.
There wasn't a person in there. You want to know what's really fucked up?
Sure.
Can you imagine if every artist that's ever been goddamn violated decided to settle their own score? How many dead bodies would we be cleaning up?
So that takes me to when you speak on Aaliyah. People really was honed in when you spoke on Dame Dash, Aaliyah, and you're speaking on something where you're saying, I wish that situation would be investigated further.
No, to be investigated. Period.
Period.
It was never investigated. hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made a statement, and it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like
why the fuck would you need to sign? A nigga don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental.
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm gonna ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul play?
Now, mind you, September 11th happened a week later. 9/11 happened a week later. Do you think that took away from it?
Once again, there are people who did short sales on their stocks.
Tupac's brother has openly accused Diddy of being responsible for Tupac's death, adding to the growing list of serious accusations against him.
I was so curious. I said, what happened to this guy? Who was behind it? You know, the whole thing with the fight, you know, he's at your fight. He's going to get to the fight. I think you guys were supposed to spend some time together. And then I interviewed Greg Kading. And if you know who Greg Kading is, Greg Kading, are you familiar with Greg Kading?
No.
Greg Kading, if you can pull up his Wikipedia, Greg Kading is the guy that... he's the guy that was doing the investigation on Tupac.
Yeah, I remember this.
Okay, so
they had a little television show about this.
Yes, you're right, absolutely. And he was known as the multi-law enforcement task force that investigated the murders of rap stars Tupac and Biggie. That's the Wikipedia story about him, right? So I said, so who was really behind this? So in the video, when I interview him, you know how somebody's trying to arrest him? Like if you've seen the movie American Gangster and they got these pictures. Is this the guy at the top? Is this the guy? So I have 50 different pictures with magnets, and he's putting these things up on. If you go to the video, you'll see how I set it up. Put Greg Kading by David. And I said, who is really the guy behind it? He says, well, we first thought it was this. Then we first thought it was that. And we first thought it was this. And everything's going. Then at the end, the conclusion after multiple conversations with him and different people, it came down to Biggie. And to me, there's so many right there. If you can just zoom in, that's the way we had it. So we're kind of going back and forth to see who was behind the guys that killed Biggie, Tupac, Easy. I'm a hip hop guy. I grew up to all this stuff with NWA. This is my, like, you know, Straight Outta Compton was a movie I watched God knows how many times because I listened to all of that stuff. I'm an LA kid. So why is it that so many people in music and Hollywood fear this guy, Diddy, as if he's untouchable? And even the...
Well, Sugar Diddy.
Diddy, not Diddy, not Suge.
You said Biggie, but you meant.
I'm sorry, I meant
Diddy,
to say Diddy, not Biggie.
Well,
Diddy.
if you punch in on the picture here, you see Diddy, you see Suge Knight, and then a lot of their cohorts down there. But Tupac and Biggie at the top, as you were, Pat.
Yeah. So what is it? I mean, everybody's in there. So what is it with Diddy that so many? T.I. called him out. 50 Cent said one time on Charlamagne God's podcast, you know, Breakfast. He says one time Diddy said, "Hey, let me go buy you some clothes. Let me take you shopping." He's like, well, you want to take me shopping? What are you talking about? So T.I. called him out. 50 called him out. But some people are afraid. What do you know about? Because some people are talking about there's Diddy involvement with Jamie and something happened because he was calling him out for some of the parties he was putting up. Is there anything you have opinions on Diddy? Have you had any experiences with Diddy?
No, just I knew him for a long time.
Got it. And with you, he was chill. He was good. He was
awesome guy.
Yeah.
I knew him before he was Diddy. And I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties. I remember
This is
him.
when he was the CEO founder of Bad Boy.
No, I don't
Big
think
Hit.
he was Bad Boy yet. No, he wasn't him. Damon Dash and all those guys. They weren't on yet. I was like the first street guy that really got on. You know, I'm talking about the guy doing crime in the streets that became a television guy, and everyone knew he was a celebrity, had fancy cars. I was the first.
This is all in Brooklyn.
I'm the first of our generation of that crew. You know, the street hustlers that really blew up like that.
And you guys all knew each other.
Yeah,
It's the same era.
Listen, this young lady that works for my company, and she started saying names to people I remember when I was 11, 12 years old. And it baffles me that you think you got away from these people. You'll never see them again. You knew them when you were at the worst of your level or heard about them. And you're not the only one God had his hand on. These guys made them successful too.